Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. And as always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video it is going to be another ranking video, and I am going to be ranking all 6 Transformers movies. Now this is going to be just the live action movies because I know there's a Transformers the movie or the Transformers the movie or whatever the animated one is called. That will not be included on this list, it is just the live action films. A couple of quick side notes before we get into the real content of the video. Firstly, I think it's very important to note with this franchise ranking that I am a fan of some of the Transformers movies. I grew up watching them, I grew up loving them, and I definitely have a soft spot for the franchise, whereas most people don't. And the other quick bit of housekeeping is the fact that if you do enjoy ranking videos, I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of the ranking videos I've done, so be sure to have a look through that and I guarantee you're gonna find something you'll like. So with all that being said, let's hop right into things. Coming in at number 6 is Transformers: The Last Knight. Ugh. This is the only movie in this franchise that I genuinely dislike. The story, for starters, is so mind-numbingly awful that I actually got a headache in the movie theater trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And the sad part is, even the action in this movie, which is what saves this franchise for most people, was completely lackluster. All of the action sequences fall completely flat. And the whole Quintessa Creator and Optimus Prime turning bad stuff was all horrid. And it could have been done well, and it could have actually been really cool, but somehow they even managed to mess the simplest things up in this one. Really, the only saving graces are the things that you've come to expect from these movies. And that's the things that with the budgets they have, it would be near impossible to mess up. And that's just pretty much the visual effects. Like, the movie is damn pretty to look at. Especially those IMAX sequences, they are really eye-popping. And then of course you have Steve Jablonsky's score, and that's the one thing that I can say remained really consistent throughout all of these movies, is his composing. Because he is fantastic at what he does, and the score here is just as immaculate as it ever was. But all around, this movie is just a joyless, brainless bombardment of everything you do not like about this franchise. Number 5, Transformers: Age of Extinction. Now this one was a slog to get through, but it is the better of the two Marky Mark-led films. This movie is almost 3 hours long, and there's only actually about 2 hours that is relatively worth watching. And the villain was even lackluster in this one, as it was severely missing Megatron or even someone else that was remotely cool to look at. I mean, I guess he has like a sniper rifle coming out of his face or something that was kinda cool. The trailer promised us another full-scale invasion somewhere along the lines of Dark of the Moon. And the title of the movie even seemed to further emphasize that. It was called Age of Extinction. But nope, like I said, we got Sniper Rifle Bounty Hunter Dude and a few Dinobots. But again, like all of these movies, there is certainly plenty of mindless action entertainment to enjoy. But in the end, this movie is so overlong and overstuffed with nonsense that it almost seems like Bay wants you to hate it. Number 4, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Okay, I know most people really don't like this movie, but it has its entertaining moments. I mean, killing Optimus Prime off so early in the movie was quite shocking to little 11-year-old me in the theater. And it has the same over-the-top Bay-centric action that you've come to expect if you follow this man's filmography at all. Moments like that, for instance the whole final battle, are still fun and exciting. However, he also doubled down on the dirty jokes, mindless throwaway gags, and tasteless stereotypical humor mixed with treating all of the women in the film as pure eye candy and nothing more. But also, the writing and storytelling overall is pretty atrocious. But even Bay was able to recognize that himself. I mean, it contradicts and collapses on itself so often. But a lot of that does get placed on the fact that the movie was made during the writer's strike of '08. Hold on there for just a quick second. If you're enjoying this video, don't get stuck in that 86% who are currently watching and not subscribe to my channel. If you're enjoying the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now in order to find more content just like this. It would be a huge help to me and my channel, and I really would greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, don't forget to ring that little bell icon, that way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And now, Autobots, let's roll out to the rest of the ranking. Coming in at number 3, and please don't hate me for this one, is Bumblebee. Okay, look, this one is easily the best of the bunch in terms of genuine storytelling, emotion, and acting. It's arguably the only one of all 6 films that tries to tell a real story. And it succeeds at being the only one in the franchise that makes you feel anything aside from pure adrenaline. Not to mention, its Cybertron scenes are easily the coolest scenes in the entire franchise, as it blends chaotic action with the old school looks updated for modern audiences. But John Cena turns out to be just a generic military baddie, and even the 2 Decepticons are completely forgettable. And in my mind, this movie is just a touch too small scale. It really does just feel like the Iron Giant meets Transformers. And while the relationship between Haley Steinfeld and Bumblebee is spectacular, and the coming-of-age-like story is certainly sweet, it just does feel oh so small scale in a franchise that only seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I have the same issue with a lot of movies in big franchises. I just feel like where everything else feels massive, to dial it back so much feels almost out of place. But regardless of my thoughts on this movie, all I know is that we need a full set of films set during those Cybertron scenes. I mean, we have what, like 3 games based on that Cybertron war? Give us those games as movies looking like this. Number 2, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Look, I'm gonna be frank with you, this is just Bayhem at its finest. It goes bigger and better in terms of action than the previous 2. Actually, come to think of it, it probably goes bigger than all 6 films. But it actually feels earned. I mean, this is a full-scale invasion movie, and easily could have been a big, epic, climactic finale to a trilogy. Yes, okay, the Sam and his whole new girlfriend stuff isn't necessarily the most engaging. But between the familiar faces, the grandiose action, big reveals and twists, and the movie's relentless pace despite its lengthy runtime make it a good contender for the top spot. But number 1 on today's list is going to have to go to the first Michael Bay directed Transformers movie. Despite its flaws, like Michael Bay's over-sexualization of a young Megan Fox, and the rest of the weird Michael Bay humor that's only funny if you're like 12, this one easily found the best middle ground for telling a grand story, and pleasing both longtime Transformers fans and longtime Michael Bay fans. The story keeps things relatively simple and easy to follow, and the action actually isn't too frequent to the point that it's mind-numbing. But when it hits hard, and it is fun and exciting to watch. Overall, I think there's really no denying that this one is the best of the bunch. Like I said, it really did find that middle area, with a simple story that gets its point across, a solid set of villains, thrilling spectacle-like action, for the most part likable human characters, and plenty of memorable set pieces. And that is why I have ranked it number 1 for this franchise. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. And feel free to let me know what ranking you'd like to see next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you. And while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.